Hello, everyone. I am Brandon K. Hedgepeth, lifelong learner, communicator, and of course your friend, and I'm so glad to have you all here today for this episode of the Tansson Talks show. I'm just so excited to get into today's episode. And without further ado, please allow a moment for me to go ahead and introduce my guest for today, San Sharma. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to talk and get into some stuff.
Yeah, of course. And so, first of all, how are you doing here today?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. I am on the West Coast, so it's 7 a.m, ready to have a great day today. How about you?
Yeah, I'm doing well over here, and yeah, luckily the weather's doing well and everything over here, and yeah, so yeah, it's always fun to have these like coast to coast chats.
Definitely, yeah.
And so before we go ahead and get started, I did want to allow a moment for you to go ahead and introduce yourself for those who are watching or listening here today.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. So hi everyone. Nice to virtually meet everyone throughout this great platform. My name is San Sharma. I am the National Vice President of Chapter Development at PRSSA National. I'm currently a third-year public relations student at Sacramento State University, which is located in Sacramento, California. A few things about me are I have in the past, this is my third year being in PRSSA, third year in college. Love the organization. It's led to everything so far in my career. And other just fun facts about me, I guess, are I love drinking coffee. I'm a huge coffee person. And one thing I do is I like to travel. That hobby passion started a lot more in college. So wherever I go, I try and local coffee shops from there. Other things about me: love basketball, love the Kings, go Kings, light the beam. Been a lifelong fan, and very happy to see what we're doing now. And aside from that, I've written 2 books in my life, so love just always growing. Want to be a learner my whole life, something I think a lot of us have in common. And I just like being active in my community as much as I can, and trying to make a difference.
I absolutely love that. And I know that while you have certainly done a lot, and it was difficult for me to figure out where I wanted to start, but I guess I'll actually go with one of the things that you mentioned in your introduction, that you enjoy watching basketball. So are you just a viewer, or have you also played at some point or another as well?
I grew up playing basketball, and and till this day is one of the major loves of my life. I think so growing up, I played. I think I started playing at 5 years old, maybe earlier, but I played all throughout from that age to high school. All throughout. Unfortunately, I stopped playing on teams when I came to college. Just I had different focuses. Um, but even till this day, if I'm ever just burnt out or stressed, something that's very peaceful to me is just going on a court. If it's just like an empty court, having my music in my ears and just shooting around, getting shots up. It brings peace to me till this day. Watching the sport, love it. I helped coach a little bit last year for a youth team, and that was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to continue doing that just because of scheduling. But I think once I'm out of college, have a little more time to try new things, I would love to go back into coaching, especially for youth basketball. I think it's a lot of fun just being able to teach the game. So a viewer now, but used to be a player.
That makes perfect sense. And so, out of curiosity, since you went from playing yourself to coaching, so I guess how was that transition, for you as someone that practically grew up playing the sport?
It felt so natural. It felt like something that I wanted to do. There was a point of time in high school, and we'll get more into like my whole high school just journey and mindsets throughout the discussion. But There was a point of time where I really wanted to be a coach as my profession. Then I realized that wasn't meant for me, but there was definitely it was easy for me personally to be able to make that transition. I personally really loved the game and really felt as if I understood the game. So to be able to teach it to someone else and show the tips and tricks as to what to do, what not to do, how to change your mindset at different times of the game, I think was something that came naturally to me. So to be able to pass the knowledge along was a blessing.
Well, I'm so glad that you were able to, yeah, to really have some fulfillment with that, and almost
Thank
like
you.
yeah, of course, and like almost like a full circle moment, with,
Yeah.
you starting off as a youth going through it, throughout your life up until college, but then being able to, briefly coach, others as well, and hopefully they'll continue the cycle.
Hopefully, yeah. Crossing my fingers.
Yeah, definitely. And so I guess you mentioned that when you were entering into college that you had sort of, of course, different priorities, entering
Mhm.
in. And so I guess what in part helped lead to the shift for you going from high school and into the college atmosphere?
Yeah. So to be very honest, high school for me was a pretty rough time. I think around junior year, my GPA was 1.8. So wasn't the best student at all. Never prioritized anything beneficial, I guess. Just overall didn't really care about a future period. I remember in my junior year, I got called into my guidance counselor's office, and I was just sat down and told that I didn't have the grades to graduate high school, and I was basically told that I was going to drop out, and I had just a very short period of time to get my act together, and if I didn't, there would be bad. Like it just there wouldn't be a future. So long story short, I that kind of hit me, that realization that I need to do something with my life. And I came into college, or I in high school, I did a little around my senior year. I started taking things seriously, got my grades up, got my GPA up. I really started focusing a bit more on my educational career and prioritizing growth and development. So reached college, and instantly I knew, I was like, okay, it's time to take my life seriously. I was given this opportunity to, like, I've definitely, things could have gone a lot worse. So always look at the positive in things, make the best out of every situation that you're given. So I felt very lucky to be able to come to Sacramento State University and do something with my life. So first week of college, joined PRSSA. I heard about them during my orientation. So joined PRSSA. I came into college during the virtual, so 2020. Wasn't able to, there wasn't too many social organizations that I could rush, like a frat or anything at the time, because everything was virtual. So I said, I'm going to prioritize my career. So I come into PRSSA. Instantly I realized, okay, this is the group of people I want to be around. I was the only freshman in there. Everyone else was juniors or seniors, and being around them at that early and developing stage, I think really helped me. So I'm very grateful to everyone that was there. I could shout all of them out. That would take a long time, but I love all of you guys. Thank you guys so much. Just being around them, seeing them want jobs, have that desire for growth, hunger for, accomplishing new things, I think at a young age for me made me want to do that. So I was a freshman, and being around them kind of gave me their mindset of keep growing, always grow, find new opportunities, network, do this, go to these events, go to X, Y, and Z guest speakers, connect with them on LinkedIn, whatever the case may be. So I think being around them at that young age really changed a lot. And just like it showed me, it kind of created a path for me as to, okay, this is like, you need to work hard, you need to network, you need to put yourself out there, all of those things. But you also, at the end of the day, need to have that mindset of keep growing, be hungry for growth, always try to find new opportunities, and that's something I want to keep in my life, like forever. Is I always want to learn. I don't want to stop learning. I feel like I've done that once in my life, and I never want to do that ever again. Always keep growing. Don't ever stop moving forward.
I absolutely, love hearing about your story and how you progressed from having the moment of the like oh, like I can't graduate
It
to
was bad.
but to where you are now,
Thank you.
definitely congratulations on just
Thank you.
organizing everything that you're doing and resetting your priorities in such a short time too.
Yeah, it was. I think it was just a giant. Like, I felt like I was hit by a truck of just. It felt like everything crumbled for a second, but I think pressure makes diamonds. So whenever you feel pressure, just make sure to. There's always two sides. So yes, you can look at the negatives, but you can also try and find the positive, find the silver lining, or if not, if you hit rock bottom, the only way to go is up. So I think that's just a mindset. That's something I've always prioritized ever since that happened. So I'm very, very glad that I've been able to think that way.
I'm so glad. And out of curiosity, how long did it, I guess, really take you to sort of figure out a plan forward, from when you initially, initially heard that, especially given that you didn't have a lot of time to really, try to do a trial and error, like you just had to act.
I think it was a very, very quick decision. So around senior year is when I just researched into what can I do. Um, had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. No idea in the slightest. So I think it came to I came to the realization that I'm I enjoy communicating, and I feel like I can handle communicating and I can handle pressure well. So something where I can apply that. So I did a little bit of research into that. Originally, I found mass media, and I thought of that as a path, but did more research, found PR, and that's where I realized, okay, this is something that I truly enjoy, and I feel as if I'm good at. So let me pursue it. And I declared that as my desired major for this university. I got in, and the rest is history. Here I am today. Very, very grateful that I made that decision, and can't wait for my future.
I absolutely love that sentiment. And yeah, it's just so, interesting to hear, like, I don't know, I guess, like, how you progress. And actually, I'm going to take a step backward and say, so when you were entering into high school, I guess, what was your mindset sort of, then when you weren't really that focused into academics then?
My mindset then was definitely, it revolved around just, I guess, kind of have fun in life. Don't I was very like I loved sports, so I think everything around me revolved around sports. Let me let me play sports my whole life. Definitely wasn't good enough ever to go professional, even close, even college professional. I don't think I was nearly that good enough, to put into retrospect. But at the time, I was in my mind just, oh, sports is everything. Sports is my life. Let me just focus on this, and this, or let me. I enjoyed music, shoes, so that's all I cared about. Um, I think at that age, what came to me was you can't have like, this is the at that point of time, this is my mindset. You can't really have hobbies. You can just like have, this is like my only path. And I think that's for me to think that isn't the best idea. You shouldn't be thinking that. Of course, you can have hobbies. You can, even as a professional, you can be in multiple different fields. You should never close off any doors. I think that was something that I struggled with, I guess is the best way to put it, is that I closed off doors for myself, whether it be professional, like finding other jobs, or like as a high school student working at like a convenience store or even at a fast food place. Wasn't really, that just wasn't it for me. And then other than that, just not putting myself out there, being very closed off. And I think once the realization of all of that hit me, of how that wasn't a good way for me to live my own life, I think I came to a realization, okay, I need to make a change. And I think the biggest thing in terms of growth, just what I've seen so far in my life, is the best way you can make a change is when you start seeing the problems. And when you take accountability for it. I think another thing is my biggest change is when I took accountability for my own problems, for not growing, for not taking things seriously, just overall not being the best student in high school. I took accountability. I said, okay, this is my fault. I can admit that this is something that I've brought upon myself. So that means this is something that I can also work my way out of. And that's something that I thankfully was able to do. And it's just a good mindset to have that I've had till this day. It's very, very focused on, okay, if you do something, take accountability for it, find a solution. I think one of my favorite things now is solving problems. I love solving problems. So if I'm ever in a situation where I need to solve a problem, I feel happy. I feel ready to go. It's a comfort zone for me at this point.
That is so interesting to hear. And out of curiosity, for your high school mindset, did you have this mindset before high school too, or was this like
Definitely.
newly okay.
Yeah, definitely. Which not the best mindset. If any of the listeners are at a younger stage in their life, don't have the same mindset I did. It's not the best one to have. Find what works for you and then chase that passion.
Well, I definitely hope that for anyone watching and listening, you all definitely are paying attention to this conversation, because I think you're going to learn a lot.
Thank you. I hope so.
Yeah, and so you mentioned that that a week, I believe, into your time at Sacramento State, that you joined PRSSA. And so, did you know about the organization beforehand?
No, I heard about it in orientation, and I had no idea what it was. All I heard was, oh, there's a PR club on campus. It's called PRSSA. That's it. That's all that was brought up in orientation. And as soon as I heard that, I was like, okay, I have to join. There's no other way. Like, I promised myself that I'm going to take my professional career seriously. I'm going to take my life seriously as a whole. So join PRSSA. It seems like the right step. I'm so glad I made that decision. I was there my first week, and it was just such a welcoming environment. Everyone there was they were just so nice, so warm and welcoming. They made me feel as if, I can't say how welcomed I was. I cannot tell you how comfortable everyone made me feel. I was very nervous joining because it's my first experience of college. I honestly, now that I think about it, I don't think I had like any classes by that time either. So this was my first like experience of college, and I just remember joining in the Zoom meeting. There's a very old picture of me in my first PRSSA meeting as young little 18-year-old me. definitely a lot of things have changed since then. But it's a pretty embarrassing picture at this point. I had like a little headband. I don't know why I had a headband. The Zoom days are just a fever dream at this point. But just remember going in, sitting there, and thinking, okay, I've found my people, and I fell in love with the organization. In my second semester, I was able to join the board as a communications coordinator. Then I became the vice president after that, and thank you, yeah. And then I also got more connected with PRSSA National. So I started out as a district ambassador for the North Pacific District in my in my second year, sorry. And after that, along with being a district ambassador, I was on the Council for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, so DEI, which is known as a Proud Council for PRSSA. And those two were great learning opportunities, learned a lot, created a lot of things, built some incredible relationships with people. And then after that, I went into my third year, and now I'm serving as the VP of Chapter Development. So very glad I took this route.
That is so great to hear that. I mean, an organization you just joined like, week one of college, like before you even signed up for your classes, before you really knew anything, that you joined the one organization that for you really has helped guide your growth and development.
Definitely, yeah. I owe everything in my professional career to PRSSA. Thank you, PRSSA. I love you guys so much.
Yeah, I mean, that's just so cool. And so, out of curiosity, like, I know that you joined, initially because you're like, okay, this is a part of, like, what my major is going to be in. And, I should get involved, get connected. But what really, I guess, made you want to stay and also, like, continue growing and, achieving these higher positions?
I think a lot of it revolved around creating a comfortable environment. I think when you do create that comfortable, welcoming, celebratory environment in organizations, people want to stay. I felt like I really found a community that I could relate to. In terms of goals, everyone in these meetings had goals. Everyone in these meetings had, and mind you, so like I said earlier, I was the only freshman there, but I think just being around everyone where they talked about their goals, they talked about how they want to grow, they talked about how they want to get this job after college, get this internship during college, how they want to build this professional network or that professional network. Seeing all of these people be so, I like to put it informally, be so about their bag, be so like just focused on developing, focused on making sure that they have a set plan, or not, if not a set plan, they have experience. Just made me feel like, okay, this is something that these people all have a mindset that I want to have. And the more I spent time with them, the more my mindset became like that, a different version of that. So that's what kept me in the organization. And then by the time I was in my second semester, I was on the board. So I think just once I joined the board, I never wanted to leave, because it's just such a fun environment to be in, to be able to go and talk to people. It was really weird. I was doing class visitations in my second semester. So that's how we used to pitch PRSSA, and that's how we still do pitch PRSSA. We did class visitations. So we'd go into classes and just talk about this organization. And it was really funny. I'd be going to classes filled with juniors and seniors as a freshman, telling these people, I was like, okay, you guys need to join PRSSA. This is why. This is a great organization. Mind you, I'm a freshman. I have yet to take a single PR class. Everything so far is just GEs for me. So general ed classes, haven't taken an actual PR class yet. But here I am in these senior seminar classes, like capstone project classes, whatever the case may be. And I'm talking to juniors and seniors telling them, this is what you need to do if you want to get ahead in your life. It felt real. It didn't feel real. And I still, a lot of times I'm with the people that I used to be on the board with earlier in my life, we just joke about it. It felt like a kid was talking and preaching to to a bunch of just borderline professionals. So it was a weird time, but it was a very fun time.
I bet that. And honestly, that feels like really relatable as someone who has like been involved in so much stuff and then telling other people who in my mind are like way ahead of me that they need to do this one thing. It's like a part of me mentally is just like, it's like, but don't they have like all the answers already? Like, do they need my
Right.
help?
Yeah. It's definitely a bit of imposter syndrome hits because you're just like, am I really the right person to be saying this? But yes, you are. Anyone listening, you're always the right person.
Yeah, that is so true. And so outside of PRSSA, I'm definitely will get back to it, of course. But outside of PRSSA, how has your college experience been? I know that you mentioned that it was sort of like still in the virtual phase, I guess, when you started. So was it like virtual on campus or virtual at home, or how was the experience for you?
So my first year was fully virtual, and then my second year was hybrid. And then now we've transitioned to fully back in person. But I absolutely loved it. Thankfully, I was able to make a very good group of friends in my first year that I'm still friends with to this day. In fact, one of them is actually my roommate. So we're all still very close. Love all of them. I think in terms of just campus life, a lot of my friends are in different organizations. They're involved in Greek life, frat sororities. So that being like knowing them, and then just like I think one thing I really am grateful for about my close friends are they're the type of people that help you branch out. So no one that I know thankfully is the type of people that are they're gonna gatekeep like a friendship or like an organization. All of us want to help each other branch out. So they'll come to PRSSA meetings, they'll take me to, frat sorority events. All of us just get to network more, branch out, have fun. Because at the end of the day, it is college. You should be having fun, right? You want to make sure that you have these years. They're memorable. Always like live your life, enjoy your time. So a lot of that. Then also just working on campus. A lot of my friends do work on campus, and they have in these really great just group of coworkers that become friends. And being able to meet them also is just I think we're not the biggest university, but I think that's kind of a good thing because we can branch out more. So just walking through campus, you always know someone. You always run into people that you know, which is a really cool thing to have because I feel like that was one of my biggest fears coming into college after the whole virtual situation was I'm not going to really know anyone. But to be able to just walk through campus and see people that I recognize is a cool feeling, and it's definitely something that I'm glad I can have.
That is so interesting how all of that worked out, but at least that you've been able to progress and meet people and get to interact with them regardless of which environment you're in.
Yeah, thank you. It's exciting.
Yeah, so in your current position of being the PRSSA National Vice President Chapter Development, so how has that been for you? And are you able to tell us a little bit more about what you do in your position?
Of course, yeah. It's been incredible. I've loved every second of it. I've gotten the opportunity to meet some incredible chapters. So what I do is I focus on chapter development, which means I meet with chapters. I lead the team of district ambassadors, which was a bit of a full circle moment to start out as a district ambassador, and then now I'm leading the team. I lead the team of district ambassadors. We handle a lot of outreach and just overall their support to different chapters and different districts. I also focus on the Community Service Initiative. This year, we are working with the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. That's our main focus in terms of community service. It's a organization that I'm very glad to be able to work with. I think they have a great cause. And I think as college students, a lot of us face a lot of stress. So to be able to hear that, you're not alone, you have all these resources. I want to be able to make sure that every person knows that they're not alone. They have resources, college student, adult, young child, whatever the case may be. Everyone should be aware of the fact that they have resources, and everyone should have those resources. So an organization that provides resources, provides support, provides actual help, and actual guidance, like real-time support, I think is just incredible. So that organization as a whole I'm a fan, to just put it in the simplest way. I am a fan. So to be able to work with them and create this community service initiative has been just a blessing. It's been an incredible process. I've learned so much, and I'm excited for our final project, which is happening during PRSSA's Leadership Assembly coming up in a few days. So that's where we're going to be doing a bit of a walk so they do walks out of darkness, and we're going to be doing a national PRSSA walk. So I'm excited for that. And other than that, a lot of my focus is just chapter development. So I'm meeting with chapters as to best practices, discussing things that need to be discussed, creating new opportunities, rebuilding chapters. I have a lot of experience with helping chapters rebuild. My own home chapter included Sacramento State. Our chapter, I think there was a point in time throughout my just time being there within these 3 years that there were 5 people total in PRSSA. And this year we've had the pleasure, is the best way to put it, of having, I think, 83 people signed up. So definitely a big jump. But that's something that if I hadn't had all of these experiences from other chapters. So I think one thing that I really love about this position is that I get to learn a lot. I'm meeting with different chapters all across the nation, even international. And I get to learn from them what their best practices are, as well as advise them as to what new ideas could be. So you take a lot of the information that you get from different universities and you help apply it to other places. And to be able to bring that back and guide my home chapter and guide Sacramento State students to join PRSSA and growing our numbers was a really cool moment. But overall, loved every minute of being VP of chapter development, and it's been life-changing, definitely.
Well, that is so cool. I mean, from about 5 at some point to 83. I mean, wow.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was not expected. When we saw the numbers come in, it felt like we won a championship of some sort. It was like I said, I've loved sports, so that was just the best relation that I could bring it to. It felt that cool, but obviously more growth can happen. So hopefully we can accomplish new things.
Yeah, for sure. And so I know, right now we are ending, well, as of time of recording this, we're ending out the spring semester and about to enter into the summer. And so I know your current, I guess, term as vice president of chapter development is...
Excuse me, I'm so sorry.
Oh, good. Thank you. Yeah, is coming to an end. But what is next for you in terms of... Yeah, I mean, I guess everything in general, but especially in relation to PRSSA.
So in terms of next steps, I think we're just gonna wait and find out. I think goals are different goals have been set, but I want to solidify a few things before I make that next step. Just in terms of moving forward and goals, just I don't. It's weird. I don't really have a path, I guess is the best way to put it. I'm very open to just trying new things. I've had I'm very grateful that I've had the opportunity to have a couple of internships throughout college. Um, and I think my favorite thing about them is that none of them have been the same thing. Everything has been in a different field or in a different, like I've done a marketing internship, I've done PR, I've done in-house. I recently finished the PRSSA Partners for Diversity program with Fin Partners, which is an agency. So I feel like one thing about me is I want to be as diverse as possible. I want to put myself in a different situation so that I can learn the most. So I want to be a well-rounded person, a well-versed person. So whatever I can do from there, just new opportunities, find new opportunities, create new opportunities as well, but not only for myself, also for other people. I'm a strong believer in there's no point in winning if you don't have a team with you. And there's also no point in winning if you don't help others win. So whatever I can do to help others win, always a goal, because at the end of the day, you want to don't be selfish with winning. Make sure that others are winning. Make sure that others are also do whatever you can to help, because we're all we have, right? So I think just growing, next steps, growth, creating new opportunities, and helping whoever I can, however I can.
I mean, it's just so great being able to hear that, and I fully agree. And yeah, I mean, it's a team effort. We're all here together. We might as well help each other out. And
Definitely, yeah.
yeah,
And you're doing an incredible job with this. You're providing people a platform to share their stories, to share their journeys. So I think you're helping a lot of people out without even possibly knowing. You're doing so great. So thank you for all of this.
Thank you so much. I so greatly appreciate that.
Of course, yeah.
But I mean, even listening to all of the initiatives that that you are doing, both personally and professionally, especially in regards to your PRSSA Community Service Initiatives. I mean, it's just so great that you are taking on these, such monumental tasks to to help others, and I really look forward to to hearing how that all progresses.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. And so I actually did want to shift gears though, because you mentioned that that you had written 2 books, and so I wanted to hear more about that too.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, to continue to about the books. So I've written 2 books. Both of them are one is a poetic anthology, the other is a collection of poems. I started writing them in my senior year of high school. I think poetry is something that I've always enjoyed. Growing up, I used to really like listening to different. I used to love listening to rap as a kid, so I listened to a lot of Tupac Shakur growing up. And what I liked was his message that he would put throughout his music. It was very it was storytelling, and the poetic aspect of it is what caught my attention. So I do have his book. It's somewhere on my desk. But he has his own collection of poems, The Rose That Grew from Concrete, and that's a book I got earlier on, and it's just I keep it with me. It's something I really still this day enjoy reading poetry. So I started writing, and my English teacher told me that he said, keep going, keep writing. He showed me how to publish books, who to get connected with, the process of the whole thing. So I think around the time I graduated high school, I put out my first book, which is just a collection of poetry. All of the poems are based around a bit of life stories, but also mental health awareness, um, racial inequalities, just being as a person of color. I think that's something that I should be speaking on, um, because there are set inequalities. So you want to make sure that you do talk about them. Um, Also, things such as issues and just inequalities with gender roles. I think there's a huge place that needs to be spoken about, from men. Even like we need to talk about the problems that it isn't equal, right? So we want to, if we can't, like I said, if we can't take accountability, if we can't take, we want to make those changes. We want to create an environment where everyone feels comfortable, whether they have whatever their identity may be. So for me, I needed to do my part to put that message out there, is the best way I can say it, I guess. I want to create as open, comfortable, and safe of an environment as I can wherever I go. So I need to be active about speaking on those things. And then aside from that, just a couple of like life stories. There's some comedic aspect of it too at times. I think there's about maybe 17 or 18 poems in my first book. So it's a pretty small book. And then for the second one, it was in response to the murder of George Floyd. And at that time, for me, I just saw like all I saw on social media was people reposting, resharing, posting black screens. So I think it was great to spread awareness. I think it's great to educate, but I think action also needs to be taken. Just me personally, that's the way I feel. You can't just reshare something and feel as if you've, for me, obviously, this is my personal opinion. I can't reshare something and feel as if I've done my whole part. So I wanted to continue doing more. So I worked with some friends from high school. All of them are people of color. One of them was, I think, the 2021 National Youth Poetic Laureate, Alexandra Hearn, incredibly talented author. So we all worked together. We got a collection of poems put together, and then I published it. It's a poetic anthology, and all the proceeds from both of my books I've been donating to charities supporting BLM and the NAACP. So just making sure that I talk the talk, but I also walk the walk. If I say that I want to be for equality, I want to actually be for equality.
Well, thank you so much for for everything that that you do, and for really speaking up.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad it happened because it's something that I think needs to be addressed. But I'm just very grateful to have been able to write these books and for people to for all the support that was given to me and the other authors. I think it was very welcoming, very warm. But overall, at the end of the day, I was very blessed to be able to work with people that also wanted to talk the talk, but walk the walk. So it gave proof that there are people out there that are about what they say they are, and we want to continue just trying to make a difference. We want to make the world a safe place. We want to make the world a happy place. So whatever we can do to do that.
I absolutely love that. And out of curiosity, are you still writing poetry on your own time? Do you have any plans to make another book?
Unfortunately, I haven't written in a very, very long time. I've had different priorities come up, but maybe in the future, like I said, don't close off any doors. So maybe in the future. But as of now, I'm not, no.
Well, if you ever do, please feel free to let me know, because I would love to hear all about it.
Definitely, yeah. I'll be reaching out. I'll sending you emails of copies, rough drafts, whatever the case may be.
I'm very much looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so while we're here speaking, is there anything else that you wanted to, yeah, to speak about, or anything else that you would like to bring awareness to?
Um, I feel like we talked about a lot. Not that I can think of off of the top of my head. Not really. I'm very, very glad that we had this discussion. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak and to share bits and parts of my story and journey. I'm very, very grateful for this opportunity. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I greatly appreciate it, and I'm just so glad that you were, willing to be on, and I've so enjoyed this conversation that we've had here.
It was a lot of fun. And yeah, I mean, I've been after you asked me to be a guest, I went through and watched. Like I said, there's been some other national committee members who I absolutely adore. They are incredible students and just incredible people. So when you reached out to me, I was thrilled because it was like, oh wow, this is like it felt surreal because I've seen them be on the podcast and I was just like, oh my god, I was like, I'm a fan of theirs. I love watching all the things they do, and to be able to also be on this show was wow. It's just thank you. It's everything is so like to me. I'm a person that I like to take the joy of things. So this is thank you for this. This has made my morning, made my week even.
I'm so glad. Yeah, I absolutely love doing this, hearing, everyone's stories and just really getting to know people. It's a pleasure of a lifetime.
No, it's incredible. Yeah. Thank you.
Of course. And, I actually did have two more quick questions for you before we
Of
go
course, yeah.
ahead and, wrap up. So earlier you mentioned, your definite desire for whenever you travel to try out all of the local coffee places and everything.
Yeah.
So out of curiosity, when did that come to be?
Um so it's a weird story. Caffeine doesn't actually work on me. I don't get energized from caffeine. I don't get all of that. Whenever people say, "Oh, it's the caffeine acting up," I don't know what that feels like. Just never felt it. I just really enjoy aesthetic spots and coffee. Like I enjoy the taste of coffee. If I get like a warm cup of coffee and they put like foam art on it, I feel like the coolest person in the world. This just looks so cool. Foam art to me is so I don't know how it's done. I'm not really the most artistic person. So to see other people that are extremely artistic, I feel like it's one of the coolest things in the world just to be able to see how you can express things and create new designs and what the case may be. So that started in my probably around freshman year when I went to probably my first coffee shop ever, other than like a Starbucks. Um, and over the time, it was just like my like love for it has grown a lot. So I recently visited Seattle, and I was there for about 6 days. So in the span of 6 days, I was lucky enough to go to six different coffee shops every single day, all of them local. And it was incredible. Like just the aesthetic of every coffee shop is different. All the vibes are different. Everyone there is just so nice. It seems like such a welcoming, like a peaceful place. In Sacramento, one of my friends actually opened a two of them. They're but sorry, they opened a coffee shop, Seasons Coffee. By far, I have to say it's the best coffee shop in Sacramento. No bias included, but incredible place to go and check out. Um, just overall, like I was saying, the it's just the aesthetic and the comfortability, the welcoming area that I really like.
Well, I definitely hope that for those in Sacramento, they definitely check out your friend's coffee shop. And
It's coffee.
yeah, and I mean, it's just so great that you're able to do that. And I guess the last question I have before we wrap up is, with all the traveling that you do for your position otherwise, how do you have time to do anything else?
Um, that's a question I'm also looking for the answer to. I think I'm very blessed to be able to have this opportunity. I'm very grateful to everyone in PRSA and PRSSA that allow for these trips to happen, and allow for me to actually go and meet people in different places of the world. So to keep it simple, I have no idea how things get done. I just have probably the best supportive people in my corner that I'm so grateful for. They make everything easy.
That's so great to hear. Out of curiosity, do you have a favorite place that you had visited?
Oh, that's a good question. I would have to say Seattle so far. I just really liked Seattle. I think it was such a beautiful place. Incredible, just nice people as well, from what I experienced. So I would have to say so far Seattle.
Well, that is pretty cool to hear. And so, yeah, but for anyone who is, looking to potentially check out the two books that you wrote, where's the best place for people to find them?
They're both on Amazon. So one of them, the anthology is called Strength and Color, and the other one is called Straight from the Heart. You can buy them from Amazon. They're not too expensive. We try to keep them as cheap as possible so that more people could buy them, and that way we could have more sales and more donations. So they're still up there. That's the only way to purchase them.
That is good to hear. And just to let you know, I actually did, read through the first few pages that are available on Amazon. And
Oh
yeah, you did
wow.
such a great job with it.
Thank you. That means a lot. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. I definitely, love supporting other people. And yeah, I was just so, thrilled with reading through it. And it's just so informative. So I'm definitely hoping to, continue reading on, over the course of potentially the summer.
Thank you. Yeah, that means a lot. It's that truly means a lot. And I'm lost for words. Thank you. That made this whole conversation's already made my week. This has probably made my year. So thank you.
Of course, and thank you. And if anyone online who's watching or listening, would like to, follow you online, what are the best ways for them to do so?
I would say the best way to connect with me online is either Instagram or LinkedIn. Those are the two social medias that I check every single day. So if you want to send me an email, you can send me an email. That's probably the third most checked thing for me. But yes, Instagram or LinkedIn. My LinkedIn is my full name, Sankalp Sharma, Sankalp space Sharma, and my Instagram is Sankalp underscore Shawarma. It was I forgot. I made it in freshman year, or no, yeah, freshman year of college. So yeah, it's a bit of a different name, but I don't exactly know the spelling of it. To be very honest, I think it's Sankalp underscore Shwarma, so shawarma, like the food. But yeah, those are the best ways to connect with me. If you want to send me an email, please send me an email. sharmas2321@gmail.com. Best way to that might be honestly the best way to connect with me, other than LinkedIn.
Well, that is good to hear. And last but certainly not least, I did want to say, for those who are listening and have been inspired by your story, what message do you have for them to close out this episode?
Um, always keep growing. Always find positive in things. Keep growing. Just because things aren't working out at one point in time doesn't mean that they won't work out. Uh, so whatever you can do, stay happy, stay smiling, keep moving forward. If you can't move forward necessarily, it's okay. Take a breath, take a step back, rethink. But whatever you do, try to keep moving forward. Like take your time, as much time as you need to recover, to take a deep breath, right? Rethink your decision, whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, try your best to keep moving forward.
that is just such a great message. For those of you watching or listening, thank you all so much for tuning in. And I honestly hope that you all just took as much away from this as I did, because I just love being able to hear these stories, and yeah, it's just so impactful. So thank you again.
Thank you for having me. I'm very, very glad I was able to talk.
Yeah, and yeah, it was, the honor's all mine. Yeah, but for those of you watching or listening, thank you all so much as always, and until next time, have a wonderful day, everyone, and let's make things happen. I'll see y'all later. Take care. And that's a wrap on this episode. Thank you all so much for tuning in to the Tansson Talks show. A big thank you goes out to our sponsor, Descript, for sponsoring this episode. If you're interested in checking out transcription tools, be sure to find our affiliate link for Descript in the description of this episode. Also, if you'd like to check out any of our official merchandise, go ahead and find us at merch.tanssonmedia.com. Of course, be sure to subscribe to the Tansson Talks show on YouTube or anywhere you can find podcasts. Until next time, this has been Brandon, and I'll see y'all later. Take care.